Hello everyone and welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Well, let me start with the little statement. Today finally I received my activation code for my credit card. So I have access to all apps again and I can provide the whole complete analysis like you know from me, and that's why I'm going to activate the charge of subscription fees again, something as you know, I deactivated it because it was unfair just to charge you for something that's not complete. I don't like that. I wouldn't like that if I would be the client of Inspocrypto, and so yeah, that's actually why I stopped that. But I'm going to reactivate that from today because I'm going to provide you all informations, including the exchange walls and what's happening there. Let me start. What's going on with the market, and to be honest, they surprised me as well. Since last year, I'm calling 24K. The 24K gap is between 23.5K and actually 26.5K. I've tweeted about that, and yeah, I was expecting a bottom there, maintain there, and still, or at least fill the gap, and afterwards, I mean, just to let everybody capitulate at the same time, and afterwards just go up again. As you know, I'm very bearish because of the macro situation, geopolitics, and so on and so forth. But only down doesn't exist. It exists, but you will see that once in a crash. And even then, usually, I mean, when someone is crashing the market, like a market maker or some big traders, they don't crash the market just to go home with loss. So it's obvious that they are not going to dump straight down. We will go up again and we will see all these levels, and in my opinion even lower levels now after I have seen the weakness of this market and yeah how sensitive traders are reacting, not only related to Bitcoin, also to SPY, for example. And I did the call with 105 DXY. We did 105. It failed now 105. It seems it's going to decline now. The question is if it's going to dump or just retrace a little bit and then start to go up again. So in that case, I could imagine that we are going to push more down, and we are receiving a lot of bitcoins at the moment. It's rising. The in-spot flows, and we will see that just in a few minutes. It's rising again, so they triggered panic. They triggered panic, and we are not talking about retailers. We are talking about whales and maybe even miners. At least I have checked miners, outflows, inflows on CryptoQuant. Everything looks relatively normal. It's rising a little bit, but no big. But at the same moment, I have detected that the market makers buying. Until yet, let me check, 60,000 Bitcoin since yesterday. 60,000 Bitcoin. While, for example, entities with 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin are really dumping it. And that's what I say. That's what's happening. So we are missing retailers, so they are just generating fear to other whales, it seems. However, we will talk about the market, but what's happening, because many were saying, hey, Inspo, what's happening here? That's the consequence of the progress of last year. Okay, I wasn't part of it. but many were just celebrating really any farce related to Bitcoin without to ask if that could be in favor of the market or not. Now people are surprised about what's happening in the market. Future ETF is part of the consequence. I mean, it's not healthy at all to see that spot market is just doing 30% of the whole daily volume, while 70% by futures. I mean, that's indicating you it's a whole casino. And that explains also why many are trading with high leverage. And that's the problem. And that's what the consequences what you are seeing. Because for institutionals, yeah, these people were right. They celebrated futures ETF saying, hey, institutionals will come and big money will join the market. Yeah, right. You all were right. But you know that futures have two directions, longs and shorts. And if you can short the market, if you can push down and at the same time generating more money or even more bitcoins and creating at the same time the next dip to accumulate, that's what's happening in my opinion. We know they are manipulating the market price, just yeah, making fake rallies with futures, for example. I have detected some. I have shared my opinion about that and tweeted about that, and many of you just trade that with success, and and that's it. I mean, in my opinion, I was very surprised about today's market reaction, and in my opinion, we are not done. We will go up. I short-term bullish, but we are not done. And that's my opinion at the moment. And we will see because the whole macroeconomy situation and the geopolitical situation is not going to change, not in the next few weeks, month. And in my opinion, SPY, I have detected some big inflows, puts indicating 360, and we are at the moment at 380 until mid of July. So we are talking for the next 4 weeks. And it would be very nice if Bitcoin could go up at least to 30K back, if not a little bit beyond, because otherwise we will see price levels that's not going to be very healthy for the market for the midterm. So I know many people said, "Oh, if we are losing 30K, it's over. Retailers will never ever again just touch this market again." No, that's not true. That's in my opinion. I don't think so. But what I think is if we really lose the magic 20, if we go down to 15, to 12, to 10, and I mean they will trigger a big blood bloodbath then I can imagine that the market is done, really done, because a market exists by trust. If you lose that trust, you are not coming back. And that's something. That's why I just mentioned in my tweet. They are playing with fire because, in my opinion, we if we are not going to lift up, and in my opinion, we should lift up the DXY looks. I called 105 retest. We did the 105 retest. Now it's retracing. Hopefully, it could retrace now to 104 back. That will give us enough time to lift up to 27, maybe to fill the gap um, in the upper zone at 28, I think it was, or something. That would be okay. That would be, in my opinion, that would be extremely good for the market to take a breath. And yes, afterwards, maybe more nuke because this week is going to be very, very hardcore and very tough. I mean, the whole thing, what's happening right now, it's a big stress test for the market, and it's not looking great, to be honest. Absolutely not. So let us talk and let us check, of course, the what's happening in the market and why also I think we are not completely done. Even if I'm short-term bullish again, I mean, thanks God, I've I've detected 2 days ago that the market maker was involved in the whole operation, and just to hedge my losses for my early long, I started to short with a leverage of 25, something I never do, but it was just with less money, and at the end, I did more money with my short and my long. Well, we will see if my long is going to survive the whole thing, but at least I would say I did some gain. No big, to be honest. Unfortunately, it was yeah. One thing is to be an analyst, and the other thing is to be a trader, right? So that's yeah. I'm very transparent. That's what I think. So let us take a look here. What's happening, and we can see the weights ratio, 30 days moving average. It's it bounced here at something, yeah, at very close to 53, and it's hitting again 55, and oh, that looks really ugly in my opinion. I wasn't expecting that as well. It's indicating they are sending more and more bitcoins. That's really hard. To be honest, that's really hard what we are seeing here at the moment. So, but however, we need to check even more and to see what's going to happen next. I mean, yeah, this week it's going to be tough. We will talk about what's going to happen this week related to the events we are expecting for this week, right? And we will see. So let us take a look to the weights ratio 1 hour time frame. And as you see, 4 times again. The last time, what happened? We had fake rally, something I could imagine again. So you remember what happened afterwards. We maintained all the time with delay. Weights ratio is always with delay. And afterwards, what happened? We went up from 29 to 32. So if we are making something similar, we could really close our gap up, because that would say we will maintain a little bit that area and then go up as well. That's something, it would be good for the market and also healthy for the market to make such of move and to bring down everything, because right now it's really hardcore. It's really from soft dumping to, well, I mean, I would say that that's a crime what they are doing at the moment. That's really hardcore. But at the same time, and that's something also very bullish in my opinion, that we can see, for example, that the stablecoin supply is lifting up. At least it's indicating some demand for stablecoins are rising, and it declined afterwards. Also, that's something that happened last time with the fake rally, as you can see here, and what the stablecoin supply did at the same time. So, in my opinion, in the next hours, maybe it takes a little bit more, 1 day, 2 days, we should go up again. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a fake rally. I think they will make such kind of dead cat bounce, to go up to 29. Everyone would say, okay, that's support, I don't know, at 28.5 or something, and many will long, and then we will go down even more. That's something I have in mind at the moment. However, you see the weights ratio, 30 hours moving average, it's declining right now, and the stablecoin reserves and exchanges also declining. So let us take a look to the next chapter now. So let us talk about flow activity and what's happening at the moment to the market. Uh, to be honest, I was really surprised when I wake up today and we were just I think that was something here at yeah lower 25, and I thought, what the hell? What happened? Because it was just I went to sleep. I don't know. It was at 27,000 or something, and I was expecting, okay, we are going to dump maybe a little bit more, 400, 500 or something, but not that big at once, and that's really surprised me. However, I mean, you can see, let me disable first the stablecoins to make clear what's happening here, and that's really crazy what's happening here, because since here, they have started just to trigger panic. And yeah, I mean, that was in the morning. We received 3,400 Bitcoin. Afterwards, another 2,000 Bitcoin. Afterwards, another 600 Bitcoin. Then another 600 Bitcoin. Another 400 Bitcoin. 6,000 Bitcoin. Afterwards, another 1,800 Bitcoin. Another 2,000 Bitcoin. I mean, and that continues. 1,600 Bitcoin, another 1,900 Bitcoin, 3,000 Bitcoin, another 7,000 Bitcoin. That happened just 2 hours ago. 7,000 Bitcoin. And another 3,500 Bitcoin last hour. So we are talking here about almost 10,500 Bitcoin. And in the last few hours, 13, 14,000 Bitcoin. But well, we know that the market maker just raised its balances by 60,000. He is buying big actually, and we need to see if he is just doing that to hold the price. Because if they want to go up, if they want to dump all these 14,000 with the demand we have, because it's really weak what we see, um, it's going to be pain. Really, we would be right now something like 20, 19. So they are absorbing a lot, and that's why we are maintaining that price zone at the moment. And of course, everything depends a little bit of what's going to happen related to SPY and DXY next, right? So let us take a look as next to the stablecoins and what's happening there. Let us take a look first to the inflows, because of course you have a correlation. They are to buy all these bitcoins to absorb them. They need stablecoins there, and if we take a look, we received here 120 million, another 37 million, another 160 million, no, 16 million, sorry. 118 million, 54 million, 160 million, 27 million, 130 million, 45 million, 87 million, and now another 176 million. So they let the price go down and they absorb even more. Okay, it's to be honest, it looks very controlled everything. So everything is under control. They are buying the dip in a price range where they want to buy. They have a plan. They know exactly what's going to be the next move, and they are just preparing everything. So if we check, for example, here, we can see that the same amount, even more, we see here much more outflows indicating they are taking profit. They are just selling and taking this money out. 230 million, 85 million. If we check the net flow, it looks much more red than green, right? So let us just to adjust that here. Well, no, not really. Okay, not really. It looks more green than red. Okay, just at the end it was really red, but here we see much more green than red, indicating we are getting more stablecoins to the exchanges than outflows, and that's of course something very, very good. Well, let us take a look to the future market and what's happening there. So if we check what's happening here, let us start as usual with the funding rate just to see what happened. And the funding rate was of course correlating with the price action, and afterwards they started to lift up, indicating they started to demand more longs than shorts. And you see, I mean, they have to wreck a lot of longs once again. And yeah, I'm really happy that this time I didn't the same mistake like last time. I just started with extremely low leverage with my long, and I started very late with my short actually, to be honest, because I was shorting all the time, as you know, at 32, at 31, and so on and so forth. And then I said, maybe it's crazy, but I'm going too long, and I was longing, but of course with low leverage because they wrecked me with a long just a few weeks ago. I hope you remember that was really a big one and it hardened. But yeah, this time I just long with low leverage, so I still have a nice liquidation price. I hope they are not going to liquidate this one because then they need to push below 20, so more hitting 18, 17. But I short at the same time and could hedge very well. So it surprised me that I did more money with my little short using a leverage of 25, something I never use, to be honest. But it was like, it's hedging. So it's just minimizing my risk, and why not? Well, it worked very well, but I closed my short. So right now I'm just longing and waiting a little bit to see some really strong reaction of the market, just to add more funds and just to raise maybe the leverage as well. And well, we need to see. I mean, I'm part of these guys here, to be honest, but also with a stop loss. So I'm very, very careful this time. I'm not going just to risk anything because the current situation is really critical. I'm not saying that just it's really critical. Um, and the leverage ratio, of course, just dumped, and of course the open interest, as you see, it correlates extremely to the price just because they liquidated a lot of longs, a lot of longs. Really crazy what they did. So if we take a look, for example, here we see that they are taking profit right now, so it looks more red than green. That's the stable coins related to derivative. So everybody, or at least whales who were just shorting, it seems they are taking profit. Some others are sending stablecoins to the exchanges, and the question, of course, is if these guys are going too long or too short. At the moment, it looks like they are going too short, too long. Sorry, too long, just because they are demanding more um, longs than shorts at the moment. And even here, you see that the Bitcoin net flow to derivative looks green, indicating we got much more Bitcoins to derivative exchanges. The problem here is I don't know actually if these guys are going too long or too short. I mean, the funding rate, it's lifting up. It's indicating they are demanding more longs than shorts, but we need to be very careful with that. Really very careful. Because I have noticed they have started to short even with Bitcoin collateral, something that it didn't happen in the weeks before, in my opinion. They shorted more with stablecoins while they used more Bitcoin collateral just to long, for example. Let us take a look to the blockchain whispers, and we will see here something that's also matches very well to what I'm saying here. And you see, I mean, shorts maintain with 700 million, and at the same time it declined by almost 30% along. So many got wrecked, I guess. And what we see here is really just 1.2 billion in longs versus 720. And even here, but Bitfinex, look at the shorts. I mean, come on, Bitfinex, shame on you. Um, Also here, shame on you. So we see here longs and shorts also related to Ethereum. I mean, for Bitcoin looks much better, just 63 versus 36, but also for Ethereum 56 versus 44. It's indicating we are, I mean, the sentiment of the traders are step by step, but is flipping a little bit to, yeah, I would say just back to normal and not only longing, but also shorts are coming up a little bit and longs. I mean, many people, I don't know, if you are getting wrecked 3 times in a row, I don't think you are going to spend another funds just to make the same experience. Let us take a look here to the Kingfisher liquidation map, what the Kingfisher is indicating us. I see we are retesting our resistance at 24 at the moment. I think that's a gamma resistance also. Come on, the Kingfisher. But yeah, we know that a lot of spot came in, so it's wow, wow, wow. Is that, I mean, what is that? What? We need to wreck them. We need to go down. Oh, Jesus, what happened here? That's FTX? Look that. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, we need to go up. If they want to liquidate all of them, I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. What I mean, that an error or Kingfisher, if you're watching my video, maybe can you confirm that's not only Sam here playing and gambling? Because that looks so extremely strange. What happened? I mean, it looks like all bulls just capitulate. They said, I don't care anymore. I'm not going too long anymore or something. That looks crazy. Wow. So we don't have anything here to liquidate, it seems. Let's just take a look to Binance. That's crazy. I never have seen such liquidation map, but it's obvious. I mean, we have here they were shorting, I guess, with high leverage since 29.5. And that looks like those guys were the architects of the dumps. The FTX CBD was declining, and well, I told you, I warned you about FTX. Let us take a look to Binance and see what's happening there. Okay, that looks but also interesting, right? Same price range. Look, like FTX. Is that coincidence? You think that's coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences, to be honest. And also here at 21, very interesting. Really, really interesting. It's almost the same chart. It's almost the same chart. Wow. And that's Binance. Wow. Just wow. Okay. So, well, for me, it's obvious. We could go even more down, of course, but as you see, I mean, nothing more to liquidate here. Everything is now above. And the next big one would be at 27.6, and the huge one is between 29.3 and 34. So yeah, it looks like we could go more up than down in case they want to liquidate all of them. And you see, I mean, they are liquidating right now a lot of people, a lot of money. FTX, FTX, FTX. Oh, Jesus. Take a look here to FTX. 1 million. Wow. Beers. So shorts. Crazy. Really crazy. So yeah, let us take a look to the options and see if we can find something useful there. So take a look what FTX did. Is that crazy? Is that crazy? I have warned you. Don't trust them. Don't trust them. I mean, they bought even more at 30K, and I don't like that. And they start now to sell $4,000 lower. I have mentioned what institutionals like to do, right? So, I really, if they are going to do that, wow, run, really run. Or we need some really big guys, they can absorb all that. But I mean, they have started to sell, they sold 7,500 Bitcoin just cumulative volume delta. It means they sold even more because as you see in the candles, some candles were green, so in my color that means blue. And yeah, so here you had more balls than souls, you know. That's crazy. Than cells, souls, than cells. Sorry. Um, so that's really crazy, and it seems if I take a look here, yeah, the whole market keeps in stablecoin margin contracts hands with yeah, unfortunately even the coin margin contracts are shorting, aggregated spot CBD down, even FTX down. So yeah, that doesn't look nice. That doesn't look nice. And that's the 30 minutes time frame. You know, I mean, if we zoom out a little bit more, we see that, but I don't like that. It doesn't make sense just to buy at 32, at 30K, and then start to sell just somewhere at 26K and less. That's usually not an operation to make some profit. That's much more an operation to generate fear. Okay, I think I have talked about that in on Roman's stream that we have to separate the strategy and the profit. So if you want to generate fear, you make an investment. You buy a 30K, you don't care about that because you are going to spend maybe 500 million and buy at 30K or maybe a billion. but then you are going to push the price down, you are shorting at the same time, you are going to make money at the same time, so you can neutralize part or maybe the whole investment and push the price down and buy the dip. And for institutionals, if we are talking about big guys investing billions, who cares about 1 billion then, you know? I mean, that's how it works. So when I see that here, that's for me just usual institutional work, and that on FTX. Remember Goldman Sachs CEO meeting with Sam Bankman-Friedman? Well, maybe just also a coincidence. Let us take a look, for example, to the entities, and let me check. First of all, let me show you what the market maker is doing, and you see what happened here while we were dumping hard. Let me check if I can. I would like to make 1 day candles. So you can see what happened, right? So they started to buy, or at least I don't know if they are starting to buy at that price, but at least their balances were rising. So they started to buy before, it seems, or just close before, and they went down. And that's something they like to do. And they had actually, if we start to think, they had here 5,090,000 bitcoins, and they have now 5,160,000 bitcoins. It means they did just since May 25th, while they went up and then down again. But even if we take that here, that was 5,100,000. Now they have 5,160,000. It's just a gap of 60,000 bitcoins. They did just 60,000 bitcoins in the last 2 days. And yeah, that could be the beginning, as I mentioned before. If we say they retrace a little bit and then it goes even more up, it's because they will start to use the usual fake rallies to accumulate. They buy dips even more. They form fake rallies to dump on retailers. That's part of their strategy of capitulation. But taking into account the last few days, I think many just already capitulate. Um, just a few days ago, I remember a follower was, I don't know his tweet anymore, but he was saying such kind, I think I'm going too long or something because that's not going to dump anymore or something. And I said, oh, the first bird just capitulated. And that's the main part. Many are learning TA and want to learn on chain and want to learn, but the first lesson you have to learn to become a very good trader is patience. Have patience. That's the most crucial thing. If and I'm a person in private, I don't have any patience. Okay? But I had to learn to have patience. And sometimes I make a trade. I'm not doing that anymore, and that's a big pain for me because I'm sitting front of the screens all the time. Even when I'm working, I have my right screen always showing me the charts, SPY, DXY, Bitcoin, changing, taking a look to the flow activity, also just to provide these informations to you. And yeah, sometimes also I mean I have emotions as well, you know. I sometimes I'm more greedy than and sometimes I'm more in fear. I mean, that's normal, but you have to control these emotions. And in the past, I just did my trade after I did my trade strategy, and then I turned the screens off. Just like I don't care. So I did everything I could, and now let us see what's going to happen next. And I don't know. I know that's very hard, but just really learn to be patient. Otherwise, you will make the wrong decisions. That's a very easy step to become a good trader, really. So yeah, we need to see what's going to happen here. If these guys are going like they did here, for example, as you see, who was the main architect here? Well, we just need to see here, you know. I mean, they declined from 5,150,000 to 1, so 50,000 bitcoins reduction and now 60 back. I mean, that's what I said, you know. They are just here buying at, I don't know, at 30,000, and they started to both just 28 and below. Makes money while, and I'm sure they did, short. So why not, right? If we take a look, for example, here, let me refresh just the fund flow chart now. So we can see that, oh yeah, maybe it makes more sense, Inspo, if, well, first of all, retailers. They are not selling. It's at least they are not reducing any balances. We have these guys. These guys are dumping. They are distributing since March 12th, as you see, and not accumulating at all. And even these guys are not accumulating. They are buying a little bit, but they did in the past as well. They buy now, and as soon as we go up a little bit, they start to distribute again. So nothing big, and that's it. That's actually it. The only guys they are showing the first sign of accumulation are these guys, but we need to be very careful because they did that last time as well, and that was here, and I was warning about that. I said, be careful, just because they rise, it doesn't mean they are accumulating. So it's too early just to say they are accumulating. We need to be patient once again and to see what's going to happen, because if these guys think, I don't want to buy at 24, at 23, I need a price of 15 or 10 for the next big bull run, you know what's going to happen next. That's the thing. That's the rule. We need to figure out if they have such kind of plan and play with them and short them. I don't care. I mean, forget your beers, forget everything, just trade it. You know, that's the only thing that works. So we see here market maker 7,900, but it wasn't in the spot inflow. So indicating me they are buying. They bought here, yeah, between 23.7 and 22.600, almost 7,900 Bitcoin. And even here, another 3,000. And just remember here, 14,700. That was extremely crazy. But yeah, it seems they used OTC for that. Maybe you have seen that. Um, I have tweeted about that OTC activity was rising again, and usually they like to use different um, yeah, just different ways to trade. So OTC, Binance, futures, and everything. So really, that's what these guys are doing. And yeah, and the others, they are selling. In my opinion, they are selling, at least the red one. Um, we will see if they are rising their balances, but at the moment they are still declining, and that would mean they are selling, and it matches very well to the spot inflows. So that's what's happening here. Let us take a look to the next chapter. So, Coinbase. Jesus, just take a look what Coinbase is doing. But I've warned so many times and saying, I don't like that. Too many orders and lower ranges, and as usual, patience, patience, and patience. That's the only thing that works very well is always patience. Yeah, that's the thing. So let us take a look here. We have here, well, that's not a wall. I'm not sure if that's, yeah, we have, it's spoofing or just current orders. They absorbed here some, and we have here between 22,600 an order wall at with 350 or 345, and another one here 22.5, another 250 bitcoins, and a big one it's on 22k. But as you see, we have 350 at 21 and so on and so forth. And the biggest one, it's at 20k, 566 Bitcoin. So, wow, really big, but nothing really big above. So the next wall would be at 30,500. So we need to see if that's going to be just a quick dead cat bounce and then down. But in my opinion, the XY should start to retrace. We will take a look just afterwards. Deribit, what's Deribit doing? Just waiting there at 12,000. Yeah, why not? I mean, sometimes that happens, but look here, a lot of sell orders waiting there between 32.3 and 40k, and a lot of orders here, but not the same density like above. Bitstamp waiting here 20,500 and at 30k. Binance waiting at 20k, 1 at 20. They absorbed this one. We have a little wall, it seems, here at 22,500. Yeah, and almost nothing above. Bitfinex spot. Still waiting there, 33k. Also, the same story, okay? If they maintain here, is because they are expecting something, so. And we have here also a 20 and 18. Wow, that's crazy. I don't know when I have seen that prices related to Bitcoin. That's it. Sometimes it feels like decades, but of course it's not. But it's crazy. We have here on FTX perp waiting at 20, 22, and nothing up. No. So even here 20, 22 looks like it's where they're waiting for the next one. Oh, Kraken limiting at 22.5, limiting at 22, at 21, at 20, and so on and so forth, and at the same time 25,800. Also very interesting that someone is waiting there. Usually it's Bitfinex that's using Kraken and Huobi. So Bybit nothing, BitMEX, yeah, BitMEX at 19.2, but nothing. They absorbed some orders, it seems. No, not this one. They didn't absorb then, but this one. So they removed this one and such little orders at 28, so nothing big. Well, Binance Futures, little wall here at 15, 15.5, and the next one 22,500. How big is that one? 840 Bitcoin. And that's just spoofing. That's really just spoofing. Bitfinex derivatives. Okay, as you see here, that's a big cluster of, wow, buy orders here. Look, Okay, they're absorbed. I mean, we are not talking about big volume, but and yeah, waiting at 31, almost 30,800. Rackham futures, nothing. Well, they absorbed here, as you see. And FTX spot, we have here at 28,900 and 21. And they removed this wall, it seems, yeah. So they are waiting at 21. Okay, so 21 could be could be the next bottom. I just want to be very, yeah. So let us take a look here. Okay, yeah, nothing. Let us give me just a second because I'm trading at the same moment, of course. And let's see if I can see here something more. No, that's it. So let us talk about my personal conclusion.